Welcome to Fine Living, presented by Jim Reif Builders on 1240 Radio WOMT.
And welcome back to Fine Living here on 1240 Radio WOMT each and every week with Jim Reif Builders. Good morning, Jim.
Morning, Terry.
How are you?
I'm good. June is here.
Yes, it is. It's finally here. It's summertime.
Yes, it is. We look forward to this time of year.
Absolutely. Hopefully, you had a good Memorial Day and Memorial Day weekend last week.
And I hope our listeners did too.
Absolutely. Jim, today we are talking about details and your proposal and really how detailed should you be?
Well, great question, Terry. Thank you for bringing that up. I guess I got two facets of it. We got the remodeling and additions part, and then we've got the new home construction. Okay. So let's address the renovations and additions first. It's like, first of all, I believe that you should have a scope of work put together room by room. So what's going to happen in each room that you're remodeling and renovating. Okay. So I think.
And when you say you, you're referring to you as the customer.
I'm saying me as a builder, I produce that. I think the customers should expect that too from their other if they're getting other bids.
Yep.
So
what they should expect from you.
What they should expect from builders. Okay, so we want a detailed scope of work, especially in this itemizing plumbing and interior doors and cabinetry and counters, things that are big dollar items and stuff like that. So you want to make sure you know what you're getting, not just you're getting a toilet, what brand of toilet, what model number. So we want to make sure that's listed. Allowances and descriptions. So you may not have a selection picked exactly what that cabinet's going to be yet, but they put an allowance in and have a detail out what's in that allowance. If it's a maple cabinet with this style of door, or is it an old cabinet or painted or
so
such.
Let me ask you, Jim, are the fixtures, the cabinets, the toilet, things like that, are those items that the customer should tell you what they want, or is that something that you can walk them through? How does that selection process go?
I think a lot of builders, starting to get some general terms to it, get some general ideas what they want, spell out a fixture number, and then ultimately there's a selection process, usually upon a client agreeing to move forward, that the builders go through to finalize all that. So we're going to take a few assumptions based on conversations with you, and then put some pricing together, and then fine tune it before construction starts.
Okay, so if there are some changes, or if the individual does not like that or wants something different, that's totally okay and acceptable.
That is correct. It's not in concrete until construction starts, I always tell people.
Okay. Excellent. Continue.
Then they should have pricing, of course. We want to have the final price and maybe some breakdowns of some of the allowances. Terms of the contract, so that would be the language items like when payments are due, what about change orders, what about insurance?
Let me ask you about payments, Jim. Is it I guess what's average? I mean, is this something that is paid for up front, at the end, over installments? I mean, typically how does things like a remodeling project work?
Majority of builders will get a down payment because they're going to have to order products ahead of time. So that, kind of ensures you're not backing out of the contract. Okay. So they're going to get a down payment. That may range from 10 to 25% based on the builder. Okay. Do not pay everything up front. Please never pay everything up front, the whole bill.
Really?
Yeah, that's not right.
Explain why.
Because then that contractor is probably in financial problems if he's asking for everything up front. And you're not reassured you're going to get the project done. Down payments or a deposit is always customary, but don't pay the whole thing up front.
Interesting.
So be cautious.
So if someone asks you to pay for something up front, that's a red flag.
That is a red flag, yes.
Good to know.
Yeah, I hope that's why we're here to help the consumer. You want to make sure you have some kind of blueprints, whether it's a hand-drawn or a CAD-type drawing of a floor plan, what's going to go on, maybe some details written on that blueprint. It's important so everybody can visualize what's going to happen, especially with different layouts.
Sure.
Discuss a schedule, like when the starting time is going to happen, so on and so forth. So what's going to happen there?
Okay. Jim, if you don't mind, let's continue this next week because time is flying by right now because I know next week we want to talk about new homes as well and what they should expect in the proposal. So in the meantime, how can listeners get a hold of you?
Terry, they can look us up on the web, jimreifbuilders.com. We'd love to hear from them with a phone call, 684-6899. And we have a presence on Facebook. Please check that out also.
Jim, we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Terry.
Thanks for listening to Fine Living, presented by Jim Reif Builders, the leader in new construction and remodeling here on the Lakeshore. Let their vision enrich your lifestyle. Tune in again next week for another episode of Fine Living on 1240 Radio, WOMT. To learn more, visit jimreifbuilders.com.